Hi Aries, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emily Gear. I'm a transformative energy healer and also a multidimensional channel. I will be doing your tarot card reading for this week, the eclipse week, the total solar eclipse in Cancer on July 2nd. So we're going to cover generally this week for all Aries, and then there will be an extended read covering specifically relationships. I'm actually going to pass on the energy healing for this week just to save some time because I'm running out of space on Vimeo. So it will just be a relationship read this week, okay? I'm already getting some cards popping. What we're starting with for this eclipse, eclipse week, I should say, not specifically just the eclipse, is the Emperor with the Three of Swords. And so Aries, this Emperor could be you. It could also be the Divine Masculine within you or the Divine Masculine in a partnership. But what I'm feeling is the additional clearing of some kind of deep childhood wounding. I'm primarily feeling like this is having to do with your capability or your personal power, really. Are you capable? That kind of stuff. And feeling incapable, feeling maybe slightly like a victim, or at the very least not being in your personal power. And that's not to say you're never in your personal power. I'm just feeling like there is a healing around that this coming week, and those issues may come up as the eclipse draws closer. Next, we're getting the Two of Pentacles with the King of Pentacles here. And what I'm really feeling, I think you have a choice coming up. And one option will allow you to really fully embody your potential. The other option keeps you floundering kind of in this sort of sea of unknowing, this sort of sea of directionless sea is kind of how it's being shown to me. If you choose the path of empowerment, if you choose to address these childhood wounds or this wounding coming from wherever, I really feel like in this case we are talking about wounds inflicted through childhood. If you choose to address them, then this provides a greater sense of embodiment in the physical and a greater sense of personal power related to the fact that you now have a real, the way they're showing is it like a hook in. You have a real hook in the earth, and that allows your manifestations to be far more powerful. When you're not properly grounded, you have trouble grounding your manifestations, and you need to be able to connect both into source and also into the earth to appropriately ground your manifestations. Part of the blockage here is this sense of wounding, and so I'm also hearing there's some issues potentially with abundance coming up. Yeah. So here are the issues. Here's the devil showing up. So that which keeps you chained, right? That which holds you back. And so I do feel like there are issues surrounding like the ability to create abundance, or feeling like you're incapable, or maybe have just really struggled to create abundance in your life. This is some of you, maybe not all of you, especially the Divine Masculine. And if not the external Divine Masculine, then the internal Divine Masculine, the part of you which seeks to provide and protect yourself, okay? So I think that there are some questions coming up surrounding our ability to survive, protect, provide for ourselves and our families, but especially ourselves. on the physical plane at this time. And this also might carry some wounding from childhood. Maybe we learned some programming from our parents about, untruths surrounding money and resources and things like that. It could be that we brought these in from past lives, from lives of severe poverty, having taken oaths of poverty as, maybe cloistered religious at some point. So that is all coming up. So it's also surrounding the idea that it takes, I think the anxiety that's created when you have to wait for your abundance to come in, like allowing the abundance to grow. I think there's a belief issue that's showing up for Aries regarding this eclipse time that needs to be cleared, which involves, if you don't see it immediately, it's hard for you to believe it's happening, okay? It's like you want to be in control of making it happen, and you want to see the results immediately. You may be a bit impatient, and you might not be the best at waiting for the results to show up, to come out naturally, okay? And yet the message here with the Seven of Pentacles is really about allowing allowing life to unfold, allowing your abundance to unfold. And so it's like your insistence upon forcing it, or your impatience has caused a little bit of a block. And so to allow this abundance to flow better, to create more of an atmosphere of giving and receiving, you're going to want to clear that block. I'm trying to see if there's more surrounding. What's this about? Let's get a little more information from the cards. You're going to get exactly what you put out there. So if you're putting out the energy of impatience and anxiety, you're going to get like these sort of half-baked results, okay? If you put out the energy of expectancy, of like expecting the best, but not, expecting the best, but not like focusing on the worst. What is it? Like hope for the best, expect the worst, or something like. Cut out the worst part, okay? Because you don't want that anywhere in your mind. In fact, the best way that I've found to deal with it, that one of my spiritual teachers has taught me, is to simply say this or something better, okay? So that you are allowing space for the universe to work on your behalf. But you are also directing, to an extent, asking for something specific. All right, let's see what else wants to come out here. Okay, so we have the High Priestess with the Eight of Swords, the Eight of Wands with the Magician, and the Seven of Swords coming up here. When I'm getting a feeling here about part of the holdup is this manifesting from the subconscious. So if in your unconscious you are believing that you are either not worthy of, or cannot receive, or never receive, or these good things never happen to you, and you don't have the appropriate patience and openness to receive, then what you are receiving is really blocked up and tied up according to the wounding that's living in your unconscious mind. That you need to empower yourself and really, you will empower yourself and really open up the energy by excavating this sort of hidden thief. It's a hidden, what was the word I used the other day? Saboteur. You know, you're sabotaging yourself with this unconscious, like, bondage, subconscious bondage. And that's this devil card again. For you this week, it really feels like it is surrounding your ability to provide for yourself and your family. Being Aries, that would mean that this eclipse is happening in your 4th house, which is the sign of Cancer, obviously, if you're counting from your sun sign and not your rising sign. And so that would have to do with issues of home and family and providing the stability of that family unit or the home, okay? And so if that relates to you, then this is what you need to clear. It may have to do with home ownership. It might have to do with your ability to support a family, all that kind of stuff. You feeling like you are responsible enough to support a family. What else is showing up here? Okay. We've got the King of Swords with the Empress. And we have the Prince of Swords with the Ten of Pentacles. So here again is this legacy, the supporting of the family and the home. Just feeling into these cards. I almost feel like there's this sense of needing to give the your divine feminine half, your empress half, your creatrix, an opportunity to do her work by getting your mind out of the way, okay? With the King of Swords and the Prince of Swords, it's almost like your mind is intensely creative, right? And in the lower octave, that's the word I'm looking for, the lower octave of that energy may be creating this kind of blockage to this abundance that you're looking for. So be careful and mindful about stepping into or slipping into that lower octave of mental energy. Make sure that you remain in the King of Swords, the highest octave of that energy, in order to, and be aware that you are creating from that conscious mind, and you're creating from your subconscious mind as well. So stay in this higher octave, because this is incredibly powerful time for this kind of creation with this card coming up, okay? You're creating your own reality according to your beliefs, your belief system. If your belief system says, I am not worthy of this, I cannot create this, I don't deserve this kind of family life, this legacy, this stability, this abundance in my life, then you shall not receive it, okay? It's so important. Like, everything is directed by the energy that you hold, and that comes from the thoughts, okay, that you're creating, the actual thought forms that you're surrounding yourself with. All right, let's get a little more information before we wrap this up for this week. A little more information for Aries, please. And then we'll get an animal spirit card. Okay. If you do that, you're taking the first and very potent steps toward this Ten of Cups, okay? So here we have the Princess of Wands with the Ten of Cups. I feel like this is a very small adjustment you need to make, okay? Releasing this stuff might seem like a big deal, and it is a big deal, but the adjustment that you need to make is quite small. And it's almost like starting over, just bringing yourself back to the point before you became mired in this fear of not being able to survive or not being able to support. I'm seeing this, I just always assume this is Mount Everest in the background, because this is like kind of a Persian, why would Mount Everest be in Persia? It's not. I don't know why I think that. But anyway, there's this big mountain back there. And so it's like seeing it from this higher perspective, so you're not so mired in this mental, mental bondage, right, with the Eight of Swords, but also like this mental armor. It's like you have this pattern that protects you, or that you think protects you, but it has kept you blocked. But once you can see from that higher perspective and just make this very slight adjustment in your energy, you're able to attract in the kind of fulfillment that you are seeking. You need to really believe that you deserve it, okay? And you need to feel into it. I'm also feeling like it's important for Aries that isn't maybe always the most emotional, depending on where your moon is in your chart, but it's maybe not always the most emotional card, that you pair your manifestation technique with the all-important feeling of what it feels like to receive abundance. Okay, to feel what it feels like to have the stability. And I'm actually going to end the tarot portion there, because I think that's really the point of all of this. What does it feel like? And clear the way mentally for this to ground in your reality. All right, let's get one last card from Colette Baron-Reid's Animal Spirits for Aries, please, for this eclipse week. Card to close the reading, please, for Aries for this eclipse week. Oh my gosh. Porcupine Spirit, time for beginner mind. What was I just saying? This to me was like beginner mind, right? Where you're open. You're not like operating off of old programming. You're open. How teachable? How teachable are you being? So make sure that you're open and teachable. Go back to that beginner mindset, okay? And just be open to what is, to receiving, without the burden of so much of the mental clutter that you collect over a lifetime or over multiple lifetimes, okay? We're going to continue this, and we're going to dive straight into relationships, romantic relationships specifically, in the extended on Vimeo. The link is in the description box below. You can also schedule a private session with me, either for a reading or energy healing or just counseling session, on my website, which is IamEmilyGear.com. Okay? I hope to see you over on Vimeo. If not, then I will see you again next week. Thank you. Bye.